First at 4, President Trump ends months of speculation, giving Kwame Kilpatrick what he's long wanted, setting off a new debate.
I want him to do all of his time. All of it, not some of it, all of it.
But that's not how everyone feels. We're sorting through a lot of reaction ahead. First, a presidential inauguration aiming to set a new course for the country.
This agreement must not lead to disunion. And I pledge this to you. I will be a president for all Americans.
The new president calls for unity as a handful of glass ceilings are shattered by his vice president.
So help me God.
All right.
Democracy, pageantry, and patriotism on full display.
Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, it is a transition of presidential power like we've never seen before. The world is watching as some American traditions are broken, but democracy proves it's resilient. President Joseph R. Biden Jr. was sworn in just a few hours ago, taking the oath of office in a very different setting than we've seen before. Now, former President Trump flew to his home in Florida this morning, not sticking around to greet his successor. Kimberly Gill kicks off our coverage this afternoon with highlights from the inauguration ceremony. Good afternoon, Kimberly.
Hi, Karen. Good afternoon to you. The inauguration of America's 46th president will never be forgotten for many reasons. Maybe most importantly, it comes exactly 2 weeks after the riots at the U.S. Capitol. President Joe Biden is now calling for unity and a change in how we do business.
Let's begin to listen to one another again. Hear one another. See one another. Show respect to one another. Politics doesn't have to be a raging fire, destroying everything in its path. Every disagreement doesn't have to be a cause for total war. And we must reject the culture in which facts themselves are manipulated and even manufactured.
President Biden will tackle some huge challenges as soon as he enters the White House. The new Vice President, Kamala Harris, will be by his side, the first woman, African American and Indian American to hold that office. The president says the entire world will see a new approach to our challenges.
We will repair our alliances and engage with the world once again, not to meet yesterday's challenges, but today's and tomorrow's challenges. And we'll lead not merely by the example of our power, but by the power of our example.
The celebration isn't over. Tonight, NBC will have primetime coverage of a special hosted by Tom Hanks. That special is replacing the usual round of inaugural balls canceled because of the COVID crisis. The inauguration coverage starts tonight at 8 p.m. Karen will have more from Washington tonight on the news at 5. Until then, we'll send it back to you.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you, Kim. Now, normally we would have video of the outgoing and incoming presidents together demonstrating the peaceful transition of power. President Trump chose a different exit from the White House. Mr. Trump arranged a ceremony at Joint Base Andrews that included music and a 21-gun salute. In another twist, the outgoing president spent time touting his accomplishments, growing the economy, cutting taxes, and appointing 3 Supreme Court justices. He wished the new administration well and took credit for setting it up for success.
They have the foundation to do something really spectacular. And again, we put it in a position like it's never been before, despite the worst plague to hit since, I guess you'd say, 1917, over 100 years ago.
Most notably, Mr. Trump said he would be watching, listening, and said, quote, "We will be back in some form," possibly indicating hopes for a political comeback down the road. The Trumps arrived in Florida, got off Air Force One for the very last time, just before President Biden took the oath of office back in D.C. Now, every presidential inauguration makes history in some way. Today's ceremony comes at such a fragile time for democracy, but also a hopeful time as Vice President Kamala Harris makes history taking national office. Our Paula Tutman virtually rounded up dozens of students to watch and share their reactions to this significant moment in time. Paula.
Yeah, hi, Karen. You know what? Obviously, there are going to be a lot of people who have a lot to say about a lot of this. We really thought it was important to get the voices of the future. 10 minutes ahead of schedule, Joe Biden took the oath of the presidency.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear.
And 31 of our most important voices of the day assembled virtually to react to their own history playing out before them. Students from every corner of Metro Detroit, from Wayne Westland to West Bloomfield and all points in between, our virtual student roundtable and watch event.
I feel this is a really bittersweet moment for me, since the whole country is really on edge after January 6th.
For many of these students, it was this moment in history that stood out most.
I, Kamala Davy Harris, solemnly swear.
This is a generation that feels desperate for unity and inclusion.
It's just so good to see love and leadership to administrations, because we really need this right now in our country. It's just so good. I'm so hopeful.
And I know for me personally, I teared up during both Vice President Harris and President Biden getting sworn in, because it feels like someone said earlier, it's a sigh of relief.
And for the young women in the roundtable, seeing was believing.
That I will support and defend for the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
This is absolutely special because I am also a biracial woman, so I think that this is really important for little girls like Kamala Harris, who are also biracial or a minority, to see someone like them in such a position like the vice president. So I think this is very special and important.
As I saw Kamala Harris get sworn in, it was so surreal. I started tearing up because as a fellow African American, it was just so surreal seeing that it's official. And in my mind, I was just thinking this goes to prove that even as a woman, as an African American woman of multiple races, a woman can do anything a man can do.
She's very accomplished, she's smart. And then also for me, I'm a young African American girl, and just seeing that you can do things like this in the presidency is just amazing. I'm so proud of her.
There's such a positive change happening here with our first female, biracial, African American, and Asian American vice president in the highest position of power we've ever seen a woman. And as a girl, that makes me immensely happy.
Okay, so let me just start by saying, wow, double wow. These students were amazing. So start with, they didn't just come with opinions, but they were well-informed, well-studied. They knew the issues. The other thing that's very, very important is they also understand how fragile democracy is and where our nation is right now, which is why I absolutely want you to come back with us at 6 o'clock, because they're going to talk about what their fears are for the future. And remember, these are the voices of the future. I think adults should really tune in and learn something from these students. Again, they were a wow.
It was encouraging. Karen? It was definitely encouraging to hear their words and to hear their wisdom, too. Thank you, Paula. We'll catch back with you at 5. Former President Trump handed out more than 140 pardons and commutations on his way out the door. As you probably heard, one of them went to this man, former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick. The once rising Democratic star has served about 7 years of a 28-year sentence. Now, it is not clear exactly how quickly Kilpatrick will be released from prison. They did use the words immediately. He was convicted in 2013 of racketeering, conspiracy, fraud, extortion, and tax crimes. Now, Local 4 has been covering the rise and fall of Kilpatrick for 2 decades now. He launched a career in politics that took him from Detroit's City Hall to a starring role at the Democratic National Convention in 2004. Who could forget that speech? But then, texting scandals, investigations surrounding the Manoogian mansion, and eventually, federal corruption charges brought his rising star crashing back to earth.
To all of you who've prayed for me, I'm sorry for the embarrassment and the disappointment.
Now, we are keeping a close eye when exactly Kilpatrick will be a free man. We do know Michigan law forbids him from running for office until 2033. Now, we're gathering a lot of reaction to the decision. Here's a statement from current Mayor Mike Duggan, who tells us, quote, Kwame Kilpatrick is a person of great talent who still has much to contribute. I know how close he is to his 3 sons, and I could not be happier for them to be together again. This is a decision President Trump got right. Some members of Detroit's clergy have also been sympathetic to Kilpatrick's cause, and they've been following the efforts to get him released. Local 4's Larry Spruill spoke to Kilpatrick's pastor about this new chapter in the former mayor's dramatic story.
Well, I am overjoyed. I'm super excited.
Bishop J. Drew Sheard with Greater Emmanuel Institutional Church of God in Christ says the recent news of former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick being released from prison is good news.
I'm so happy as his pastor to be able to say that he's had he's developed a sincere relationship with the Lord. He's a minister now, and he was leading worship services in the prison.
Bishop Sheard is Kilpatrick's pastor and was there for him during those dark times. In 2013, Kilpatrick was sentenced to 28 years in federal prison after he was convicted of racketeering, mail fraud, and wire fraud, among other charges.
I always thought that his sentence was extremely too harsh, extremely too long.
But now he will soon be a free man after serving 7 years of his 28-year sentence. That's because late Tuesday night, former President Donald Trump commuted his sentence.
I spoke with his sister this morning. Of course, we're all at a point of finally.
Several well-known pastors like Bishop Sheard, Bishop T.D. Jakes, and Bishop Charles H. Ellis III with Greater Grace Temple here in Detroit have all expressed their support for Kwame.
I think that most everybody ought to be able to say about the religious community is that we're people not just of faith, but we're people of mercy. You know, we're people of grace.
But Bishop Ellis tells me he thought former President Trump would have made his decision during the election season.
I was kind of surprised, because I would thought that it might come trying to get votes as opposed to after, the defeat.
His family is not currently here in Detroit. Do we know where is he going or where's his new home?
Yeah, I do, but I think I better leave that to him to tell you.
And Bishop Sheard says he's talked to Kwame's sister earlier today. She says his sons are happy that he is coming home. Bishop Sheard says that should be later on today. He is expecting to talk to Kwame later on tonight. We are live at Greater Emmanuel. Larry Spruill, Local 4.
All right. Thank you, Larry. Of course, much more reaction tonight at 5 and 6. Thanks for getting us started here at 4. Team coverage continues through the evening. New at 5, I'm going to take a look at the one thing that could actually send Kilpatrick back to prison in spite of that commutation. And then at 6, Detroit businessman Peter Karmanos talks about the battle to release the former mayor and his hope for Kilpatrick's future. Plus, we do have online extras at clickondetroit.com, including an essay by Paula Tutman on Kilpatrick's rise and fall. There's still more news ahead, including a tragedy for a family in Detroit. Police describe a heartbreaking scene involving 2 very small children and a gun. We're following the investigation. The worst kept secret in Detroit has become a reality. The Lions have a new coach. Well, we're hearing about his new deal. Ben.
Karen, it doesn't look like different than any other day in January, but it did feel like it, and we'll tell you why coming up.